News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler of the Louisville Real Estate Show here with you for the first Sunday in the month of December of 2023. Well, we've got only the rest of this month, and then we hit 2024. How about that? Thanks for joining us. What's that, Randy?
Unbelievable how fast it's.
It is. It is.
It is.
And
Crazy.
that first voice was Randy Rocky, who is the head guy, one of the head guys over at Swan Financial. They do a great job of getting you pre-approved and to the mortgage table. You can reach Randy and his team at 645-0736. The voice you heard of Lee Harris, who is legal counsel over at Limestone Title and Escrow. And you can reach Lee, and incidentally, fellow realtor. She's a great source of information if you ever need something answered. She does. This is her cell phone, so you know she's legit. 649-7964. My son Greg is back by popular demand.
Yay!
He does our marketing, photography, and so much more. And you can reach me, Bob Sokoler, anytime. If you are thinking of selling your home, we'd love to help you. Whether it's this year, next year, beyond, call me up. I will come out free, no obligation analysis. We can talk about what the process is, what the path, and what the prices are right now for your home. And it may make sense to actually sell now or just wait until next year or the year beyond. You can reach me at 502-376-5483, or you can go to bobsellslouisville.com. Coming up a little later in today's show, if you are thinking of selling this year, next year, or the years beyond, we have the best low-cost home improvements to improve the value of your home between now and the time that you sell. All right, so we'll start with our questions, and these come in, just so you know, we're still doing COVID shows, because we're doing it via Zoom. You can go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. If you type in LouisvilleAnswers.com, that will take you to our YouTube channel where you'll see a replay of this show and others, but not only the audio, but the video as well. And that's, I think, in this case, there's a lot of questions that we have that are coming fast and furious. You send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and then put the radio question in the subject and then the actual question in the body of the email, and we'll get this on the air for you. And that's what Crystal did. So, Lee, this is going to you, Lee Harris over at Limestone. Crystal was married for a number of years, bought a house with her husband. She got divorced about 5 years ago, and recently her husband passed away. The house is still in both of their names, and Crystal is wondering if she has the house and wants to sell it. How does she go about doing that? She's not sure how the deed was signed when she bought it. So what and how should it be signed? And make note, for all potential buyers and sellers, this is a good course on how you want the house to be titled when you close on it. And then what happens if it's not titled in the way it should be. So, Lee, I know there's a whole bunch of questions to unpack here. Where do we start?
Sure. So the first thing is, hopefully your deed is in survivorship. So what you want to do is go to the Jefferson County Clerk's website. It's very easy. Pull up your deed. And if you see the words right of survivorship or to the survivor of both of them, then you know it's in survivorship. That means it's just your house now. You would just need the death certificate to show that your husband has passed, and you can pass title because you are the sole owner of that. If you did not, then if he had a will, then it would pass according to what was in his will. If there was no will, then there is a statutory list of who can inherit a property when someone passes away. If they're married, the spouse gets a portion. If he has kids, they might get a portion. So the best thing to do is find out if you're in survivorship. If not, give me a ring on that cell phone number, and I'll give you the options for what to do if you need to get the deed transferred.
So, Lee, I take it that the deed takes precedent over what the will would say if it's in survivorship in the deed.
Right. If it's in survivorship, it is hers. Whether the will would not overtake the survivorship language. That's right.
Is it common for people to put it in survivorship? Is that the norm? Would you suggest that as a closing attorney?
Absolutely. If you are married or if you have someone that you want to get that property without having to go through any kind of probate or any kind of legal wrangling, then survivorship is the way to go, because it just becomes the property of the survivor at that time without any need for any additional paperwork.
Good. And for my son Greg, just so he knows, I'm actually working right now with John Hagan, who follows our radio show with his show. But I'm putting all my assets into him, and we're putting together an estate plan. So just letting you know, I'm telling my son Greg on the air this.
But I'm doing it
you're doing
30 years sooner than you.
Very good. Okay.
For all the listeners, do not wait until you're 67 to get your things wrapped up.
Yeah, that's true.
Now he's telling your age. Now he's telling your age on
I
there,
don't care. I talk about it anyway. All right. So good, Lita. Hopefully that helps everybody. We appreciate that information.
Sure.
Over Randy Rocky over at Swan Financial. Jacob has been, and there's a theme here, Randy, with these questions. You'll see these as we go through today's show. Jacob has been tracking the economy. He's wondering what happens to his mortgage rate if the economy collapses. He's wondering, will his rate come down?
Yes. When the economy is not doing well, when the job market is not doing well, which is coming, actually now they're finally recognizing all this. That's why rates have dropped, and I think in the next 4 to 6 months they're going to continue to drop.
Right now, I think, and we have a question on that in just a little bit, but I think what Jacob is saying is he currently has a mortgage. Will his existing mortgage rate come down of what he's paying?
No, he would have to refinance to make that happen. He would not be. And if he's bought in the last, since basically March of 2021 now. Yes, 2021, I believe, 2021, 2022. It's been such a whirlwind. I forget what it's either 2021 or 2022. Then his rate has been higher anyway. So, but yes.
Well, I guess maybe is he referring to an adjustable rate mortgage? So does
I think he didn't say that, but I guess
that's where I would go, because the obvious answer to that would be, well, yeah, if you bought in 2018 at a 5.7 and then post-COVID rates drop to low threes, then you refi to get your rate. There's no clause that just makes your rate come down. Now, in an adjustable rate, does it work in the inverse? Does it only go up? So say we got a 15-year ARM 2 months ago at 7%, and rates in 2 years drop back down to the fives, it goes reverse, correct?
Well, that is correct. And it goes by the LIBOR rate, and we won't get into all that. But the thing is, unless there's some crazy program, which is very rare, adjustable rates have not been good at all in the last year and a half because prime short-term rates have been so much higher. So almost everybody's been doing a 30-year fixed.
And that's where I think maybe his question was coming from, because physicians would still get pretty good deals on certain programs, but still nobody, I don't think, would really recommend an adjustable rate in the past 2 years with the way things were going. But now that we're at the peak of what we, at least where we are today, what it seems like the peak of rates, where the pressure is starting to push back downward, exactly for what Randy was saying, with the economy doing what it is and employment doing what it is, that will put the downward pressure on the rate. So maybe.
Well, let me explain, and this is very important. There was a big bank in town I will not name. They about 90% of their clients on primary residence, when rates were in the 2s and 3s, did adjustable rate mortgages and saved their client about 1/4 of a point. All right. And they were doing 3-year adjustable rate mortgages. And I thank God I got a lot of people out of that. And I kept explaining, hey, it's going to be 1/4 of a point more, but you have an insurance policy because rates can only basically go up. And it's really sad that this company, that this bank has done this. And I sincerely mean this. So now there's a lot of people having the repercussions of it. And now their 2.75 adjustable rate mortgages now at 8.75, literally.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Yeah, that's dangerous. All right, we're going to move forward. A reminder, if you are thinking about selling, you want to talk and find out what the buyers and sellers are saying about the team or agents that you hire. We really highly suggest that you check the reviews. And we made it easy. Go to LouisvilleZillow.com or LouisvilleGoogle.com and read our reviews. Over to Lee Harris over at Limestone Title. Sam sent us an email with a serious problem. He sold his house last month with a closing that was scheduled. And unfortunately, Sam says he's been working 15 hours a day, and he says he has not been able to clear out the 25 years of items that have accumulated in the house. So apparently it's sold. It closes in mid-December, and he is wondering how can he get a delay on the closing so he can get all of his things out. And Sam also wants to know what happens if he does not get his stuff out by the time the home actually closes. He signs the paperwork at the closing table. Lee?
Okay, well, the first thing I can think of is to ask for an extension if the buyer's willing to do that. That would obviously have a lot of factors related to, do they have a particular time frame that they have to be moving as well, and their loan necessities. But he also could ask for, he could go ahead and close, and he could ask for the delayed possession, where that would give him some more time that he could negotiate with the buyer to stay for a little longer. If he could assure them that he could get his stuff out maybe in another week or 10 days or whatever he might need, they could negotiate it's called a post-possession agreement. And sometimes there's a fee for that. Maybe he's like renting it back, quote unquote, from them for a certain amount. For the second question, what happens if he doesn't get his stuff out? Well, first of all, he's going to have some very unhappy buyers. And he would essentially be in breach of the contract, because the contract states that, it's supposed to be clean, broom swept, all your personality is gone as of the date of closing. And so they might not want to close, but if they did close, then essentially he'd be losing possession of his items.
Because they can lock him out at this point, right?
Right. And once it's their property.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's abandoned the property essentially.
Yeah. So by whatever you can do, Sam, I would tell you, get the stuff out. You're under contract, and hopefully if you can get an extension, that's your answer there. Back over to Randy Rocky, Swan Financial. Sarah has a question that is an offshoot of Jacob's question, the first question we asked Randy a few minutes ago. Sarah's wondering, if we go into a recession, will mortgage rates go down? And you kind of answered that, Randy. Mortgage rates should come down. Is that where you're going with that?
They will come down. That's not a should. Sincerely, if we have a recession, the only way to get out of it is to drop rates and get, the drywallers working, the title companies working, the construction. So when recession happens and economy happens, where it goes down, the only way really to drive out of this is to drive interest rates down.
Greg, just out of curiosity, with all of us, we have our own mindset on where rates need to be to get the real estate market moving again. Have you got in your mind, and I'll ask Randy and Lee about this. Have either what number is the magic number to get
to
people
infer that it's not moving now would be a false.
It's slower. It's
slower, but needs-based moves will always be happening and are still happening because the market allows for it. At least here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yep.
Where do I think it needs to be to get back to a healthy market for buyers and sellers, buyers specifically? I would be shooting myself in the foot if I thought it would be anything lower than 6. I think low 6s will get people off the fence. I think we'd be, excuse my language, but dumb to believe we would be in the 5s anywhere in the next year. But I truly believe 6s are possible unless we have a complete global collapse, which is very possible. And that would change the game for everything. But inventory is still low. Buyer demand is still high. Even with rates as high as they are in certain markets, 6s, low 6s.
All right, Randy, quickly, you thoughts?
Yeah, I'm coming out with NMLS number 26362 with a 4.9 30-year fixed rate, APR 5.02 next week. So you guys, it's going to be a government program, all VA, FHA, USDA, and it's coming next week. And I'm more than excited. Our company is only one of the few companies could pull this off.
Is that with the buy down? Is that what we're talking about?
No, it isn't. It is a 30-year permanent rate, but you do have to get 4% seller concession. So you have to have the seller help you with closing cost and prepaid. So, but it's only 4%. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
4%. I mean, listen, 4%. And we'll talk, and I'm sure everyone's going to want to talk, because when you're floating out a 4% rate where that wasn't even the going rate pre-COVID, I'm shocked.
Well, how about Lee? What were you thinking?
It's going to be a big one. But anyways, enough about that.
Yeah, sorry.
I was thinking about 6 is what I was thinking.
I was thinking 5 to 6, but Rennie just really trumped us all. So
he did.
Just threw a grenade in the hatch.
We heard it right, Randy. 4.9?
5.02 APR. 5.02 APR, 4.9%, 30-year fixed.
All right, we're going to want more of that. Coming up in just a few minutes, if you're thinking of selling, and now after you've just heard Randy, you may be thinking of selling even more, we will go over some of the best low-cost home improvements to improve the value of your home. Continuing with us, Randy Rocky. Jot his number down. You want to know about this, Swan Financial, 645-0736. Also, Lee Harris, who's legal counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow, at 649-7964. Yeah, you can pick the closing attorney that you want. I love the folks over at Limestone Title and Escrow, especially their cookies. My son Greg, who does our marketing, photography, and so much more. And if you're thinking of selling, I would love to be able to help you. You can reach me anytime, Bob Sokoler, on my cell phone at area code 502-376-5483, or go to bobsellslouisville.com. We're back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show, here with you till the top of the hour. Continuing with us, Lee Harris, who is legal counsel over at Limestone Title and Escrow. And not only can you reach her, but listen, fellow real estate agents, she's a former Kentucky Real Estate Commission attorney. She knows her stuff. 502-649-7964. Also, Randy Rocky, he is one of the head guys over at Swan Financial. And you heard of the commercial, you heard what he was saying before the break. You definitely want to jot this number down, even reach out to him as soon as you can. 502-645-0736. My son Greg, who does our photography, marketing, so much more, is with us in my direct sell. If you're thinking of selling now or in the next couple of years, I would love to come out. It's free. It's no obligation. We just simply talk about what the process is. We'll look at what the prices are of your home. That way you've got a good idea of what the path is to get you to your next level in life. You can reach me anytime on my cell phone at area code 502-376-5483 or go to bobsellslouisville.com. Zillow did a survey looking at the best low-cost home improvements for resale of your home recently. The number one thing, we want to take a guess real quickly. I'm going to go quickly here, guys. Let's start with Lee. Number one thing to improve the value of your home.
Paint it.
Paint it. Randy.
Add a deck.
Greg.
Yeah, I hate this one. I'm only going garage because historically that's been on the list, but I don't believe it.
Lee nailed it. It's paint your interior. Harris poll found 40% of recent sellers paint their home's interior before selling. Nearly 30% said the project helped them sell the home.
And that was to sell the home, not for value.
Well, it will help you to sell, but of course you're getting more money if you sell quickly because it's new on the market.
Well, the perceived value, I believe that, because as a photographer, when you paint your home that's fresh, it's going to look better in photos. That's a given. Yeah.
That is right. Paint neutral tones, by the way, generally speaking, according to Zillow.
Key word there, neutral.
Neutral. Grays, beige, walls, white trim. Make sure
beige.
Trim.
I don't,
okay, well,
grays. Grays.
Paint the bathrooms terracotta brown. That's a Zillow color analysis report. Terracotta, I'm not sure about that, but that's what they say. It was also the 2023 color of the year. Could that, maybe this was sponsored by the Terracotta Foundation. Could be.
The terracotta company.
All right. Paint kitchens pewter gray. Jot that down. Pewter gray.
Any gray.
Zillow paints lighter. Zillow paint study found mid-tone pewter gray is the best color for kitchens, fetching a premium of $2,553, while homes with a deeper graphite gray kitchen can sell for an estimated of $2,512 more. So it's
Zillow and their over analytics,
and we know this as we're a Zillow Flex team, so we know the analytics of this. Curb appeal, Zillow studies, landscaping. Landscaping was the most commonly completed projects. You want to paint your front door. Painting the door can have a big impact. Buyers prefer black front doors to those painted gray and would offer $300 more for a home with a mid-tone rosy brown front door. Don't ask me, folks. I didn't do the study.
It's a bunch of malarkey.
All right.
People that write articles for the sake of writing articles.
Paint your home exterior. Making the exterior pop. A new coat of paint can help. About 1 in 4 sellers complete this before selling, according to Zillow. Home smart technology. Report says 42% of buyers rate smart home technology is highly important. Add a smart thermostat, smart lights, LED lights. I just installed this thing, and I don't have a name for it. If you want Bright Me, you say, Amazon, turn the living room lights on, and the lights come on. You have to plug your lights into it, but it's really cool. I sit there just walking through the living room, go, Amazon, turn the living room lights on. And then they go on, and I walk out and go, Amazon, turn the living room lights on. Or Alexa, it's not Amazon. Alexa, turn it off, turn it on. Okay.
She's listening either way. She'll do it.
I love it. Consider hands-free tech, right? 2002 study shows touchless toilets. I never heard of that. Deep clean flooring. At a minimum, clean the flooring. And the second most important project, 35% of sellers say doing it will help you sell your home. And correcting floor damage, buff out or refinish hardwood floors, especially if there are visible scratches. Those are the key things that are going to help you sell your home faster and for more money. Back to your questions, folks. Shanita, this is for Lee Harris over at Limestone. Shanita owned a house before she got married. Lee, she's planning on selling. And she wants to know, is her new husband's name automatically put on the deed? And at the closing table, she wants to know, will the check that's produced for the proceeds include her husband's name as well as hers? Lee Harris.
So Kentucky is still a state that has dower and courtesy laws. So the new husband will have to sign off the man's is called courtesy. The women's is called dower. So he will have to sign off his courtesy rights. That doesn't mean he's really entitled to anything from the proceeds. So the way the title company will likely handle it is they will give the check to the person who's on title, which is her, not him. So he's just coming on to the new deed to sign away his courtesy rights for the new buyer.
And would you need to produce a quitclaim deed to make that official, or you don't have to worry about it at that point?
No, it's all good at that point. Yes.
Okay. All right. Randy Rocky, Swan Financial. Amanda continues the questions with sent us this email regarding a recession. This is the theme. She's wondering, should she prepay her mortgage off, pay the mortgage off ahead of a recession? She says that would eliminate her having to make mortgage payments. A lot of questions in the past couple of weeks about recessions.
Very great question. In my opinion, depends on age.
Yeah.
The older you are, I think the less debt you want to be in. But when you're younger, I think that is a situation where I would keep the debt and just make the monthly payments.
Because it's a tax write-off at the very least.
Yes.
The interest rates, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. But as we get older, I think at least me, and I think most people, they don't want to have debt.
Right. Well, and you look at income too, right? I mean, depending on how much money you're making, if you got enough money in the bank to pay off said mortgage, what, it becomes a formula of an individual preference. Like Randy is indicating, age makes a big deal. How much money you're going to make in the future? Do you need that nest egg? Are you going to sell your home? What are your plans? Those are the questions that she needs to be talking to a financial advisor about, rather than just saying, hey, should I pay off my mortgage or not?
Right.
Because if you could, everybody would pay off their mortgage, right? It'd be a great idea not to have a mortgage payment.
Well, I would just simply say, listen to an investment guy who happens to follow our show and talk about what you should do with the money and making money off of your money. Just a reminder that if you want to see a rebroadcast of the show, go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. And if you want to see what sellers are actually saying about us, you can go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. Those are actual videos that I shot, LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. All right, let's go back over to Lee. Roberto owns a home on a lake with a boat launch. Several neighbors have asked to use the boat launch to put their boats in the lake. Roberta is asking in this email, is she responsible for if the neighbors launch a boat from her property and there's injury or damage to her, the property, or the individuals?
Interesting question.
Yeah.
There are different people who could be on your property. One is a trespasser. One is somebody you invited. So if you allow somebody to use your property and there's damage or they get hurt or something like that, then you may have liability if they slip and fall, let's say, or let's say that they damage your property. It might fall on your insurance. So yeah, there is a little bit of liability anytime someone's on your property.
Yeah, let's flip the coin on that. With winter right around the corner here, snow, ice, is there anything that homeowners need to be thinking about? Check with your insurance company, I would think, possibly.
Yeah, you should, for sure. But yes, if somebody were to come to your house and slip and fall, there could be certainly a claim on your policy about that.
Yeah, it might be worth it, since we're talking about it and thinking about it, to contact your insurance agent and just make sure you're up to date on any sort of liability that you might have if someone comes to your door and slips or falls, especially with these Amazon people coming to my door all the time, delivering and, all around. Yeah, right. They could hurt themselves. Gosh,
sure.
I'd hate to have that happen. So it might be worth the call to your insurance agent. Over to Randy Rocky. Andrew wants to know that as we move forward into 2024, if we do hit a recession, will mortgage lenders make it more difficult for buyers to get a loan?
No. The only way that this opens up, and there's controversy in when I'm saying it, but Fannie and Freddie is a lot of it is government subsidized. So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So they're going to open up the floodgates to allow cash to come in the system to get things going again. So in my opinion, that would not happen. I want to go back to one more thing. Yeah. Also on debt consolidation, we're over $1 trillion as a country now. 1/3 of all loans being closed now are cash out refinances because so many people have so much equity in their home because of the debt, credit card debt. So that, that 4.9, 5.02 APR rate also goes in effect for cash out refinances as well and refinances. So just want to make that aware for people because it is becoming very common for people to refinance right now because of the debt situation they're in.
Yeah, but they're refinancing at a much higher rate. Your suggestion from weeks ago was to do a home equity loan against it?
Well, it was when they were in 6.5%, 7% rates, but now we're getting 4.9. We'd have to look at it and see where they're at and do a determination.
Yeah.
What I really want to know, going back to that question of do you pay off the mortgage, is say there is a recession, say there's a crash and banks fold and the bank that you owe your mortgage to folds. Now, if you had that cash and you didn't pay off your mortgage, what happens to existing mortgage? This is a bigger collapsing question, right? But
that's a great question. That is not 92% of all loans are closed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Anything that is serviced by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, or even in 2008, when a bank would fold, someone would pick up the servicing.
Right.
So you can't get a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
Well, my point is, if you don't listen, the tinfoil hats are out there. They are listening to this program. I am sure of it. Okay. And we're all thinking the same thing here. If there's a total collapse and a reset, we're not going to say any other things other than that. Then maybe I get to live in my house for free. I don't know. Maybe that's maybe
chances are slim.
And I have oceanfront property in Arizona too.
Yeah. All right.
So and I got everything up now.
I can sell you a bridge. New York.
Let's move forward.
All right.
You see where I'm going.
We
just
got
for
it.
fun.
If
it's
you
Sunday
wanna,
morning. We got to have some fun.
We are out of time. If you want to sign up for our free bi-monthly newsletter with the updates and all, go to Louisville, www.wesellouisville.tv. That's www.wesellouisville.tv. Sign up for our bi-monthly video updates. All right, we're out of time. My thanks to Lee Harris, legal counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow. Do a great job of getting you closed. At the closing table, you can reach Lee and her crew at 649-7964. Randy Rocky is the co-owner of Swan Financial. You can reach Randy. They do a great job of getting you pre-approved. And with this new 4.95, Randy? 4.99?
4.9. 5.02 APR.
Okay, it's just unbelievable. You really need to check in with Randy. 645-0736. My son Greg, who is not only does our photography and marketing, but he's also very funny and is a conspiracy theorist.
Listen, I dabble in tinfoil.
Okay. And I don't dabble in tinfoil, but you can reach me if you're thinking of selling now or in the next couple of months or years. Listen, I'm here for you anytime. You can reach me even after the show. 502-376-5483. It's a free, no-cost obligation. You just need to make the call to me, and I'll make it work from there. And we can talk about the plan, the path, and how you get your home sold. And it could be a couple of years away, but I'm still more than happy to meet with you. Again, free, no obligation. 376-5483, or go to bobsellslouisville.com. We're out of time. Have a great Sunday. See you next Sunday on News Radio 840 WHAS.